Hi, I'm Scott. I'm a part of CCOF, and they asked me to come today and be a part of the Deep Dive in Five podcast. And today we're going to be talking about fasting. So after you watch this video, go to ccof.church/2021, and there's a short devotional there with some ideas to think through and some help uh, with fasting. And I think it will really encourage you and help you. So if you're watching this video, I assume that you want to grow in your walk with Jesus. And so do I. I know that in my life, there's areas where I worry or I'm impatient or maybe I'm unloving to people around me. And most of us have room to grow in these areas. I think it doesn't really help when we're constantly surrounded by messages that tell us what to worry about or what thing to buy or food to eat or a vacation to go on that will make us happy. And these messages seem to just be totally constant. Now, they seem to be hard to get away from. I think that fasting can be an amazing way, especially if we do it regularly, to turn away from those messages and find joy in Jesus and his kingdom. And he talks about that in Matthew 6. And he tells us not to worry about what we will eat or what we will drink or even what we'll wear, our very basic needs, but to instead focus our minds and hearts on his Father and his kingdom. Now, here's an analogy. Have you ever thought about how babies don't really seem to worry? Over the last 20 years, there's been a lot of new brain science and study about how our brains form relational and emotional attachments. One thing that's really fascinating is they found that when a baby is in the womb, it can tell what types of food the mother likes based on what she's eating at the time. And after the baby is born, the baby senses those, it can smell those foods. It can even taste those foods. And as the mom keeps the baby warm and safe and fed, these bonds are continuing to grow. And as the baby's relational capacity grows and it can see the smile on its mother's face, those bonds grow even more. So you might be saying, well, what does this have to do with fasting? And I think it's a really interesting analogy if we think about turning towards Jesus in the midst of our worry, turning towards the one who actually provides for our needs, the one that keeps us safe and warm and fed. So just like in this passage, Jesus says, don't worry about the things that are even your very basic needs. Don't worry about your food or your drink or your clothes, but turn to me and to my Father in our kingdom and trust in that. So as you go through the devotional this week, and as you commit yourself to fasting, keep this thought in mind. Fasting is about joy, because when we fast, we humbly and intentionally choose to connect to the one that provides for our needs.